The sun sank low over the town of Willow Creek, casting burnt orange shadows across the dry plains. The air hung heavy with the scent of dust, manure, and something else, sorrow. Marshal Clayton Hart dismounted outside the abandoned farmhouse, the paint peeling off the weathered boards like a snake shedding skin. He didn't come here for trouble. He came because of the rumors. A woman, alone with a baby, hiding in the outskirts since her husband's death in a failed bank robbery gone wrong. Folks whispered she was broken in the head, maybe dangerous, maybe just desperate. Some said she was hiding from the law. Others said from herself. Clayton tipped his hat back and took a long breath. The chicken coop behind the barn clucked softly. Most of the hens had long since scattered, but he could see movement, something more than feathers. Cautiously, he stepped forward and unlatched the wooden door. What he saw took the breath from his chest. A woman sat curled in the corner, clutching a swaddled baby so tight it was as if she thought the world would rip the child from her arms. Her dress was torn and dirt-stained, her feet bare and bleeding. Blonde hair matted to her cheeks, her face streaked with tears and grime. She looked up at him like a hunted animal. "Please," she whispered, "don't take him. He's all I've got." Clayton knelt slowly, hand resting on his revolver, but not drawing it. "I ain't here to hurt you," he said gently. "Name's Clayton Hart. I'm not here on law business. I heard a woman and her baby were out here alone. That true?" She didn't speak, just nodded. He said, voice soft as a wind. "You and that baby can't stay out here. Not safe. No food, no fire. You're both coming with me." For a long moment, she stared, blinking away tears. And then she broke. With a sob that cracked the silence like lightning over the prairie, she whispered, "Okay." Chapter 2, Scars of the Past. Her name was Eliza Monroe. She was 22 and already twice as weathered as any ranch hand Clayton had known. They rode back to town in silence, the baby, named Jessie, dozing in her arms. She wouldn't meet his eyes, not even when he settled her into the spare room above the livery he owned. Clayton brought food, hot cornbread and beans, and left it outside the door. The next morning, the plate was clean. By the third day, Eliza sat by the stove and let Jessie coo in his blanket on the rug. She said little, but her eyes followed Clayton's every move with guarded intensity. "You got anyone looking for you?" he asked as he whittled a piece of pine. "No," she said. "They all turned away after Levi died." "Levi, your husband?" She nodded. "Used to be a good man, but after the drought, he got desperate. Robbed a bank with his brother. They didn't make it out alive." Clayton didn't judge her. Life out here forced good people to dark corners. He'd seen it, lived it. His own past bore scars too deep to show. "You knew it was wrong," he said. "I begged him not to go." Her voice cracked. "I told him we'd find a way, but pride is louder than reason." She brushed a tear from her cheek and looked down at Jessie. "He never asked for this," she whispered. Clayton looked at her, truly looked. Beneath the grime and sorrow was a woman forged in fire, still standing. "You did what you had to," he said. "Now you do what you need to. You raise that boy. You heal." Chapter 3, Rumors and Rattlesnakes. Word spread quick in Willow Creek. It always did. Outlaw's widow hiding with Marshal Hart, they said. Probably in on the robbery herself, others added. Eliza kept her head low, working in Clayton's kitchen, sewing for townsfolk, and caring for Jessie. But trouble has a way of sniffing out the weak spots. It came one stormy evening, wrapped in a black duster and a snarl. Wade Monroe, Levi's brother, thought dead, but back like a ghost from a nightmare. He sauntered into the livery as thunder rolled over the plains. "Eliza here?" he asked, eyes sweeping the stalls. Clayton stepped between him and the stairs. "Ain't none of your concern." Wade grinned, gold tooth flashing. "Ain't she my sister-in-law? Blood's blood, Marshal. You ain't blood, you're poison. Wade reached for his belt. Clayton was faster. Revolver drawn, cold steel aimed at Wade's chest. You draw, and you'll die right here in the hay. Wade sneered. You can't protect her forever. Long as I'm breathing, I can. Wade backed away, but his threat lingered like smoke after fire. Chapter 4, Firelight and Confessions. That night, Clayton sat outside Eliza's door, gun in his lap. The baby cried softly, and she came out holding him. You didn't have to do that, she said. Yes, I did. She sat beside him, firelight flickering across her worn face. You keep helping me. Why? He was quiet for a moment. Maybe because I know what it's like to lose everything. My wife, Sarah, died giving birth. Kid didn't make it. Buried them under a sycamore tree back in Texas. I'm sorry, she whispered. He nodded. Since then, I kept riding, kept running, till I found this town. Figured maybe I could build something again. They sat in silence, grief heavy in the air, but not suffocating. Shared sorrow is a strange balm. Do you ever think we get second chances? She asked. Clayton looked at her, truly saw her, not just as a widow or lost girl, but as a woman rising from ruin. I think sometimes, he said, second chances look a lot like you and that baby. She looked up at him, and her hand brushed his. Chapter 5, Smoke on the Horizon. Wade came back with 3 men and a bottle of hate. They rode into town one dawn, guns out, demanding Eliza. Said she knew where Levi hid a stash from a bank job. Said she had one last debt to pay. Clayton stood on Main Street with a shotgun and no fear. You'll have to kill me to get to her, he said. Gladly, Wade spat. Gunfire rang like thunder. The fight was brutal. One of Wade's men went down before they even cleared the saloon. Another fled. Wade and his last man exchanged fire with Clayton behind a water trough. Then Eliza stepped into the street, baby strapped to her chest, shotgun in her arms. Enough, she screamed. Everyone froze. I don't know where Levi hid anything. I never did. But if you want to shoot a mother holding her baby, then you go ahead, Wade. See if you're man enough. Wade hesitated. Rage fought shame in his eyes. He looked at the barrel pointed straight at him and knew he'd lost. He dropped his gun. Clayton took him in, cuffed and bleeding. The town watched in stunned silence. Eliza collapsed to her knees, shaking but unbroken. Clayton ran to her side and held her tight. Chapter 6, A New Sunrise. A month passed. The livery was quieter now. Peace had returned to Willow Creek, but something new had taken root too. Hope? Eliza laughed more. Jesse learned to walk. And Clayton found himself carving a wooden horse by hand at night. One evening, she stood behind him as he worked, the smell of cinnamon bread in the air. You made him that? She asked. Figured every cowboy needs a good horse, even if it's just a toy one. She smiled, and for the first time, it reached her eyes. I never thought I'd feel safe again, she said. You gave that back to me. He stood, brushed with shavings off his shirt. I didn't save you, he said. You saved yourself. I just showed up in time. She reached for his hand, fingers warm, steady. Clayton, I don't want to leave. Then don't. He looked at her, heart pounding in his chest. Stay. With me. With